That was an interesting way to end that one. I guess we'll go back to St. Louis.
That's not a good way of playing a game, is suicide like that.
Yep, suicide. He probably had low health anyway, so he probably suicided himself. Nope, I had low health too, so hey, what are we gonna do? Wait, to go back to the Battle of Jutland, you know, the Battle of Jutland back in World War One. Like as I said before, it really, the British just, the fact that Jellicoe sent out his battle cruisers ahead of his battleships. He should have, stayed further behind, let his battleships go ahead, and he kind of support the battleships instead of sending out his battle cruisers out, in front, thinking that, oh, we're gonna blow up the enemies with our firepower, and we're going to avoid all of their shots or something. And then all of a sudden, seeing her ships get blown up because of the enemy shooting their turrets, and says something's wrong with our ships today, and well, duh, of course, you have something wrong with your ships. You just bring a bunch of ships, a bunch of cruisers to a battleship fight. So, what are you gonna expect? If I did the same with the warships, I'm gonna have the same problem. But they didn't really know that much back then. So, yeah, that's how it was back then, and that kind of cemented the use of battleships back in World War One, because the battleship is what really defined that battle, because the enemy had a bunch of new battleships and some old ones. The Germans had a bunch of battleships from different times, all in that battle. And not a lot of battle cruisers, because the British really wanted, and kind of came up with that idea of battle cruiser. So it was really the British were completely disadvantaged in that entire battle. Another thing that was defined at that time was the fact of something called a dreadnought, and you've probably seen some of the old battleships they had for the Japanese side. They had a lot of guns, sticking out the side, and a bunch of guns sticking out in different directions. In fact, this ship right here, the St. Louis, is a typical pre-dreadnought ship. You don't see any large turreted guns anywhere. You see all sorts of guns on the side. You like guns everywhere, but you don't see any like really large guns in any particular location. You do have some large guns, but you have a lot of little guns on the side, and all that's taking up space and weight and all that. So, and weight's important, because when you have more weight, the slower your ship is, and harder for it to turn, slower it is, harder for it to catch up with the other faster ships. So with that, you have with that said, it'd be better to have like a fewer turrets. Like you have, let's say you have like 4 turrets on your ship. So you have 4 turrets, 2 guns per turret. You got a good amount of guns, and they're all top, 14-inch, like this is a World War I spec right there, 14-inch guns, and that's pretty powerful back in like the early days of World War II. And that's what, and I think the Dreadnought was like 2 turrets, like one in the front, one in the back, and both have 2 guns per turret. I'm not sure if they were 14-inch, maybe they were, but back then everyone in the world considered that the most powerful, warship in the world. The fact that the Dreadnought, was like that, which instead of having all these guns all over the place, you have all your big guns on your deck, and that's it. You have some smaller guns, but you have basically very large guns and turrets. Yeah, well, they're turning. And then you have your big guns, the front and back, and then you have smaller guns, but there are fewer of them. And and they also have like turbine, engines and stuff like that, which is
Number two is the
advanced for back then. So what ended up happening after the turn of the century, very late World War One. I mean, like no, early 19th century, early 1900s, so like that 1901 or beginning then. They consider having the more dreadnoughts you have, the more powerful you are. If you're a country and don't have a dreadnought, you're not considered a world power, and that's what people thought back then. Um, which was fine for back, in the 1900s when there was no such thing as an aircraft carrier, nonetheless aircraft. People didn't think aircraft were capable of, of doing much besides maybe scouting and war. Oh, look, there's some torpedoes coming in somewhere. Oh, they're like just friendlies, and they're going enough far as away, so they're not going to really affect me much. Anyway, so that was back in the day, and World War I was based. They didn't have much gun, ship combat much. There's mostly the front lines. You got airplanes sometimes flying over. They were mostly used for scouting, but eventually they got into combat role. But they were basically used to protect the scouts. Like you have your scout planes that detect what the enemies doing on the enemy lines. They are. I don't know what this guy's doing. I'll try to destroy him though. It looks like. Let me see what happened. I don't know. I think we won.
Victory.
I think we captured their base. I didn't really notice. I didn't want to pay attention. Alright, we got 633 experience. It's not too bad.
See, this is why being in a team is a very good thing. And another thing I want to mention about strategy. Got a heavy ship that doesn't move very fast. They're great for the back. Have the speed ships in the front.
In some ways, that is true. But not exactly. You have to have
if you can't catch up, you're going to be behind them.
You have to have your biggest ships up in front. Your battleships, you gotta have that in your front lines. Not that you can charge right in with a battleship, but they have to be in the front lines. You can't get around that. Your cruisers are kind of behind them, and they are for support. And then you got your destroyers, which kind of hang back, hide in the corners and the sides, and then they kind of, sneak up on the enemy like that. Then you have your aircraft carriers, which is like, you can almost say they're like your artillery or something, but not really. They hang back, they kind of stay at base, but they do move around. But they don't advance. They stay in the back. You 9 times out of 10, you're going to see your aircraft carriers on your J line or your A line, and that's it. Or something like that, like A, B, or J and I, and that's okay because you have airplanes. That's all you have. You don't have any guns on the aircraft carriers.
That's why it's called an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, it carries aircraft. That's it.
Exactly. Very good.
Of course. Everyone knows that.
I don't know how Steve. I know that.
Yeah.
I go back.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. That guy over here looks like he's coming back and going that way. And let's see, what's the battleships doing? He's doing that way. So probably not the best idea for me going this direction, because hardly anyone is going this direction. So I'm gonna, so I'm gonna turn around here.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I do see a battleship going this direction, but it's, I'm gonna be ahead of him if I do. So I'm gonna turn around. Let's see what happens.
Stay in your line. Come on, stay in your line.
Yeah, I do see a Congo over there. The other Congo is going that way, so you know what? I'm gonna go that way. I think all battleships are turned around, so that's good. That's good news. So I'm gonna turn around. Congo bongos. Yeah, it looks like we have one more Congo on our team, and so it looks to me that we have a slight advantage of them, so that's good. We have more battleship than they do, with the same aircraft carriers than they do. From that alone, kind of, shows how this battle is going to go. But you can't just judge it just by that too. So, you never know what's going to happen. I don't know what this going with this cruiser guy. He's just turning around. Oh, battleships seem to, see where the enemy is. Okay, let's see. How far away are these guys? St. Lorraine, St. Louis, St. Louis over there. Got a Jinzhang over there. So it is actually in range, but I actually hit a little bit on. Hey, let me back up. We got a nice opportunity to possibly destroy a. Oh, I can't back up fast enough. Get it. That battleship is gonna blow him up first. This guy's coming in fast. I only have like a 10 kilometer range with this guy, so I can't really hit him now. So he gets about 10.36 kilometers. Oh, he turned around. Let's go like this. Looks like it slowed down a lot, but I guess maybe that's when it was turning. And some of the back of them. Maybe I go turn around. Yeah, battleships over there. Maybe I can slow it down. Go full reverse. He got blown up. Yeah, I shot through the arc a lot. They stay in the air for a while, and then they hit. It's good for like. I know one thing that a lot of some like older World War II battleships had. They were worrying about arcing fire, especially like the British. So they are meaning to upgrade some of their old battleships, but some of them they kind of left. Like one particular, they were planning to upgrade to have a more armored hull, but they didn't. A more armored deck, they didn't, and when it resulted in it kind of getting destroyed by plunging fire from the Bismarck.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
What are you listening to?
I was watching a video on that.
Oh wow.
But I like watching.
I got you. I got you, Pikachu. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this guy is not going down easy. Well, I'm using a low end, cruiser right here, so chances of me actually doing a lot of damage is going to be kind of a miracle. Alright, those torpedoes got him. So it looks like we're winning, so that's good news. Let's see, no, I can't hit that battleship down there. He's 12 kilometers away. If I get a little closer, it seems like a dumb idea, but what are you gonna do? It doesn't seem like any of my other teammates are going against him, so I'm gonna go with them. Wow, it looks like there's a destroyer over there. Could probably shoot him. Destroyer being a troll like he is. Trolling. Trolling destroyer. Okay. Turn away. Don't want to have a broadside exposed to our torpedo barrage. Oh boy. And the best defense against a torpedo attack is to not have your, just to have your ship straight, have it like straight back. This way you have at least